everyone, Joe here from Action X. Welcome to Let Joe Talk, or welcome back if somehow you're really bored during this current quarantine, lockdown, whatever you want to describe this period of the world right now. It's been still very is a tumultuous one for me. Another week is now in the books. So far, it's the same old. Not in the sense of like it's life as usual. It's like the current status of life where it is. For me personally, I stay home, do my online work, go to work, and rinse and repeat for 6 days out of the weeks, and then the seventh day is usually just me doing more stuff. So anyway, so this week, I kind of teased last week that I was going to talk about mortality and stuff like that. I'm not doing that just yet. I don't want to do two depressing episodes back to back. But I want to talk about an uplifting one, sort of. Well, something that's going to be very prevalent as when we eventually do get out of this current predicament that the world is currently in. Are movie theaters worth it? Do we still need movie theaters going in the near future? For me personally, the answer is yes. Again, remember, if you are unaware, this is Let Joe Talk. It's a bias show. It's my opinion, and that's really all you have to go after. Again, remember, I agree with everyone has their own opinion. I never try to dissuade your opinion. I'm always open to conversation about it. So, with that being said, are movie theaters still worth it, or will it still be worth to still have them as we proceed forward in the future, not just in the digital space that we live in, also with streaming services, but as well as, do we still need movie theaters, physically? And before I get to usually Let's Talk is like we go through, I talk about my piece and then I give like a final conclusion. But before I get into all that, my answer is yes. I still believe in 20 years from now, there'll still be movie theaters. I think that's still something that we as humans have always been enjoying for, I believe, nearly a century. I could be wrong on the map there, but I believe movies have been a common practice, especially going to the theater, grabbing a bucket of popcorn, drenched with hot butter, and a very large God, I can't remember the name. Oh, I'm so out of it. A large soda, a large cup of soda, and sitting down for 2 hours and just enjoying a movie. I honestly believe, and for me, I have so many amazing memories going to the movies with my parents, with my friends, with failed romantic interests. A lot of stories I could tell, which some I'll save for the podcast, but it's still something that, even for me, like, before all this whole COVID thing started up, for me as an American, just now going into like a month, I had seen only 2 movies this year, Birds of Prey and My Hero Academia, Heroes Rising. Still to this day, those have been some of the best theater experiences I've had in a while, where getting to see Birds of Prey with my 2 best friends, Michael and Charis, who have been on the show before, seeing that movie with them, a great, funny DC movie that we haven't had in a while, in recent years. I'm not talking smack about Shazam. I'm just saying, like, it's been almost a year since Shazam came out, so hold your pitchforks and fire. And then seeing My Hero Academia Heroes Rising with George, Charis, and another person was fun. It was a really fun time. I enjoyed the movie. We had a very fun dinner, a nice dinner afterwards that I ate, again, way too much. That was a cheat day. And I missed having those experiences. I would have loved to see Onward in theaters. I would have loved to finally see New Mutants in theaters, but we're not getting them for quite a while. And with the current predicament of the world, like, businesses that are not essential having to shut down to contain the virus from spreading any further, or at least decrease the acceleration that the virus is going through, is understandable. And movie theaters are not essential. Because, again, in the era of streaming services, like, you could just log into Hulu or Netflix or Disney Plus or anything else, and there's a ton of movies for you to enjoy. For many people, that seems to occupy their time if they're sadly not in the position where they can work from home. And yeah, so the thing is that when this is all over, like right now, there's still the whole conversation about, can businesses survive this beginning to seem like months of not being able to be operational? Because no matter how you twist it, like, businesses do not have like an excess amount of money to like, oh, we have a whole reserve here, we'll just burn through it all and then, hopefully we'll come back. I don't believe so. Like, hopefully the government will figure out something. I think they have, but I don't pay attention to politics. Like, literally one of my coworkers have just told me that, oh, they're passing this bill, this $2 trillion bill. And that's literally, like, I don't seek out this information because it doesn't pertain to me. And I know that kind of sounds, that makes me a bit of closed-minded. It's just I have too much things to worry about. I have too much other things to focus about that I can't get into the weeds on every single political act that goes on in Washington. I'll rather wait till, like, if it affects me and I get told of it, I will then take care about it. But beforehand, no, it's all hands off the table. So I really do hope they figured this out because for me personally, another thing is that my mother currently works at a movie theater. And years ago when she started all this, there was a whole the program that a police can get free movie tickets. So for a good amount of years, I think about 5 years, I have always had the privilege of seeing movies for free. I just asked her and she gave me tickets and I would go with a friend, maybe 2, maybe 3, sometimes maybe 7, which wasn't necessarily the most logistical idea to do and take advantage of the system. And I believe they changed their policies because of me. So, to be fair, the theater that I go to, which is my childhood theater and still is my number one theater, is a local theater, to me, but it is a chain. I think I want to say across, the East Coast. I don't know if they have any other, business, locations beyond. I don't pay attention to that, to be honest with you. So for me, I do have a personal stake in it because, like, it is for my mother like a source of revenue. It is her job. She's been working there for 10 years, a decade, which is crazy. So with that being said, even beyond that, had that not even been a factor, I still would care. Like, if they announced, hypothetically, because that shopping center that the movie theater has been located at, it's been going through some tough times recently since there is only 3 available retail space in that area, which is a very weird thing to say because there's this weird smaller convenience store space. There was then the Toys R Us, which of course shut down over a year ago. So, and that space is still empty. That is a very tall feat for anyone. That was designed to be a Toys R Us. So for any other business to take that over is crazy, and it has not happened. Like, the only other businesses that have taken over that space in recent years has been this weird zombies experience that pops up every Halloween, which they take advantage of the already established floor space and uses it to its advantage. I've never been there personally. I'm just too lazy to go. And then there's the movie theater. So if the movie theater was to just shut down because of the loss of revenue, I would feel distraught because for me, then by that point, I would have to go deeper away to go see a movie. And it becomes a chore because for me, it's walkable. It's a 35-minute walk, and I love walking, so I would prefer that. It's a 15-minute bus ride, or if I'm getting driven, it's a 10-minute ride. So I always had the convenience of having a movie theater near me, and I have so many fond memories of it.
My first movie theater experience was seeing Spider-Man. No, it was Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo, the 2002 movie, which I know a lot of people hate. I understand the hate. I watched it as a kid. I had barely any context of the material. I thought it was a pretty good movie. And I saw the sequel 2 years later. It was a better movie. So, again, I was a kid. I was the target demographic. And I'm sorry to say, I understand you could still make kids' movie entertainable for adults and still have a great story. I understand that. But for me personally, I just love that movie. I think Scooby-Doo was the first movie I've seen a few, and that was kind of at a time period where I didn't even understand the concept of movies. Where I think when my mom was explaining to me the concept of a movie, because I had seen movies before on TV, or I got the VHS when it was the leading format for home media. And I think the way I prescribed it was that, okay, we're going to see the movie on a very big screen, and then we're going to buy the VHS and go home. I didn't understand that. No, it's released on the big screen only for a while, and then months later it comes out physically on the VHS tape. I didn't understand that growing up. So you can imagine my confusion where eventually young Joe gets really lost in the weeds there. And also one time that I remember, there was I thought for a moment that the movie theater was interactive. Like, there's this weird, very weird, you're leaving the the theater room, there's a weird cutout area where for some reason as a kid I always imagined myself thinking like, oh, this is the gateway to getting into the movie. I don't know why kid me thought a lot of weird stuff. I still do think of a lot of weird stuff, to be honest with you. But so okay, to get back to the point. So again, I have had many more fond memories there. Seeing Spider-Man 2 a couple years later with my dad and crying because my dad forgot to pick up tickets, and then the first showing we were gonna go to, like the next immediate showing was no doubt it was first day, first Spider-Man, it was sold out, and I cried. And it's like, okay, we got tickets for two in about a couple of hours, so it's like I was so distraught being downstairs in my house crying because we were not in the movie theater seeing Spider-Man 2, and then eventually I forgot about it and we saw the movie. It was amazing. And just kept going on, like, seeing movies with my dad, and him eventually falling asleep because the amount of movies I made him see. And eventually, once the 2010 started for me, I started just branching out to see it with my friends, especially with the free movie program. Not free movie, but like the ability to get free movie tickets. That was fun, and seeing all the MCU movies with them, and just seeing a ton of movies, and it was a fun time. I have so many fond memories of the movie theater that when I got a little older, my dad started telling me his stories of him going to the movie theaters a lot, because when he was growing up, he loved watching movies with his dad, going to the local theater down in Peru, and getting to have like a full authentic sandwich and a soda and drink and enjoying a movie and when there was still the intermission time of things. And for him, he loved his memories he had with his dad and his sister. And for me, thinking about that, like I want my son and my daughter, my kids, to have those memories too, to be able to take them to see a movie and being able to continue that tradition of like passing along like our love of movies and having so much fun seeing them. And I can't imagine a world where, I mean, I understand that a lot of people like would prefer like staying at home and having that experience, but it's also another thing about the theater experience. Like, I saw Avengers Infinity War in an IMAX format, and it was the first and currently only time I've seen it in an IMAX format, and the crowd was amazing. It was probably one of the top 3 best crowds I've ever been a part of, and it was awesome to get to be with such dedicated MCU fans like me, like George, Alan, who were also in attendance, and it was awesome. Like, getting to hear audible reactions to certain moments in that movie was like, this is something you cannot recreate it at home. And I understand, like, people like it's better to. There are certain movies that are meant to be watched with a crowd, and then there's just movies. Well, I understand it would be better to see it alone, maybe at the comfort of your house. I understand those. I understand, but there's just certain. For me personally, I still believe in the theater experience. I still believe in it very, very highly. If and when the MCU continues and we still get movies in 10, 20 years, I'm still going to see them in theaters. Like, I'm still going to support both. Like, I will support the official physical release, but I also will support the theatrical release. It's because again, I want to be in the movie theater with on my cheat day with an extra large tub of popcorn with a bunch of butter layered on top and a extra large soda, because I don't get to do that often. And for me, that's the way I like to live. And I love, like, I don't get to do it for every movie because I told George this last year where I wanted to cut back on the amount because, again, movie theater food is very expensive and some of them are not that good per se.
That actually brings up a funny story where I don't remember what movie it was. I want to say it was Green Lantern for some reason. I went to see Green Lantern with my dad, and he went to, our theater has like the 3 main options for food is popcorn, chicken tenders with French fries, Nathan's best French fry brand in the whole world, not sponsored, And not a very weird brand of pizza that I would probably remember. I don't want. I think it was Sbarro, but it could be now just a different brand. My dad bought the pizza because no one buys the pizza there, so he's like, you know what, it's pizza. Why the fuck not? It costs like $4.50, and I told my dad even as a kid, like, why are you spending $4.50 for a pizza slice? We could just go to our pizzeria and get 2 slices for $5. And he said, well, I want a pizza because I'm the one paying for this. Let me have what I want. I'm like, sure. And then we come home and it was my dad on the toilet for like 2 hours with diarrhea. And it was like, I told you, don't buy the pizza. And he said, yeah, you're right. I'll never buy pizza from this feeder again. And he never had. So, yeah, that's... And to get back to my point that I remember, I just don't want to have that much movie theater food. Like, if it's a very special experience, or if I'm like, I'm going to have food afterwards or beforehand, like, I won't. It's still part of the theater experience, like, you know, getting to sit down in a very, oh my god, thank God for reclinable seats, thank the freaking Lord, especially when my movie theater was like starting to implement them 2 years ago. It was, God, where was it? And assigned seating, I'm like, thank you, because it was a tradition for me and my dad, like, we're gonna go to the movie theater half an hour early just to get the good seats. And it was still fun. It was still fun to get good seats. Sometimes we get the worst seats in the house, but sometimes we do get the best seats. I think the worst seat I ever gotten was... What was it? I forgot. It was Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. It was my sister's birthday party, which none of her friends showed up, sadly. It was just me, my mom, and a couple of our family members. And we went extremely late to the movie theater, to the point where it's like, we were literally like, oh my god, my neck. That was like, not the best way to see that movie. And... I still like the movie. It's just my neck really hurted back then, and there's a whole nother story attached to that, which I'll talk about someday. And where was I gonna go with this? But yeah, even though there has been still some bad, or at least nearly ruined movie experiences. Well, I'll give a little take from the Heroes Rising one, which is the more recent one. Me, George and Charis, and another friend of ours, we went to go see it. We go our usual time, 20 minutes early, sit down, you know, get acquainted, talk a little bit before the preview started. Well, there wasn't any previews with this movie, but it was before the movie started. And there was this, like, group of people right next to us that would not stop talking, would not stop coughing. And this was before that the coronavirus thing started to really, people, like, looked around like, wait a minute. And then a couple minutes later, I started smelling. I was able to smell a very faint allure of weed. It's like, oh, come on, really, for this movie? I would take if this was the next Adam Sandler movie whenever we get another one theatrically. But come on, this is freaking My Hero Academia. Heroes Right. It's an anime movie. Do not smoke weed before you see a movie. And they would not stop giggling. They would not stop making weird comments. And I'm a peaceful man. I've said this before on many episodes. I try not to make conflict, but I feel so sorry for George, who had to sit right next to them. God, I still love the movie. I still enjoy that experience. It just, those little, like, moments of, like, shut the hell up really made me, like, I would have, if this was any other movie, I probably would have, like, said something and, you know, maybe got myself thrown up. But it's like, you're in a movie theater. Let everyone else enjoy their experience. And they did not get the memo. And I understand now that I'm saying, like, those are the types of reasons why people would prefer sitting at home, paying a little bit more money to get it on digital, on demand, on the original theatrical day. I understand that. But at the end of the day, there's another crucial thing that I think is something imperative and also important to think about. The movie theater industry is still an industry. I understand there have been industries in the past that have gone away because they've been phased out for something else. I understand that, but you have to also understand the movie theater industry is also a lot of people's income. It is their sole income. My mom tells me that there has been a lot of people that still work there because that is their only source of revenue. And it's gotten, even before all this started, like, gotten dire, and told that they had to get second jobs because the hours weren't enough. Because, yeah, the whole question is that not every movie can make a lot of money, and not every theater can get the same clientele as another, you know, bigger brand and such like that. And I understand that completely. But it's still a job. People still have to make money in it. I think the more... my theater is so lucky to still Like the moment I knew they were going to do expansion after renovation, then I knew like they were financially well, so I didn't have to worry about if there was any sort of like rumors of they're going to close down, because that theater's been in business for like 18 years. I still remember what it was originally like before all the renovations, all the changes they made, and it's impressive how far they come. But yeah, it's still an industry. It's still a massive business that people have made livings off of. And to see just all that shuttered away just because... I understand that a lot of people are moving towards a digital future. I understand that. But there's just... I guess those... I don't know. I really can't explain it, because then I have to insult people. I don't like insulting people. I'm trying to be a better human being, like I explained last week. It's something that I understand why people would love to go full digital, and especially with the whole recent controversy that Universal is moving Trolls 2 to a digital release on its original theatrical day, while every other movie studio has delayed their movie theatrically so they can still have a theatrical date whenever this whole issue is over. And yeah, I understand that, but at the end of the day, movies are made to be on the big screen. There's a reason why they're called big screen. Before you say, like, wait, there's made for TV movies. What about those? It's like, yeah, but that's in the name, made for TV. And some of them do make theatrical releases. Some of them do. It's not just, just for the movies. But again, movies were made to be on the big screen. I understand, yeah, of course, now that I'm mentioning, like, what about Netflix? What about Hulu? They're not all their movies are on, the big screen. I get that too. I understand that, but it's cinema. And before I bring up the whole last thing, the Martin Scorsese thing with the MCU stuff, spoilers, Martin Scorsese, you're totally freaking wrong. But sidebar, maybe an episode for the future. I still believe in the movie theater experience. I still believe that that's a whole industry that, if it was up to me, I'm like, it's never gonna go away. You're still gonna have to go to the theater, get your soda, get your popcorn, sit down, and have that theater experience. And yeah, I still don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. I still don't. And I really hope this whole coronavirus thing does not accelerate that or make people question it. Because I feel like now with every other studio, besides Universal, but that's a whole other story, stating that we are going to delay the theatrical release of this movie, still showcases that there is still an audience there. There's still a great reason for these movies to be in theaters instead of going digital or straight to DVD. There's still a reason. Now, I understand, like, well, Joseph, understand as well as their company. They want to make money. They want to make business. Marvel Studios wants to make another $1 billion picture. I understand that. I totally get that. It's just, they still believe, like, they could still find a way to make some sort of similar amount of money, still make a profit if they went digital. That could still happen. That's still a plot. I'm pretty sure someone out there can figure out the logistics of making that work. Someone please do. But the fact that like nearly every single movie studio has rallied up and thought of people's health first, and also understood that the movie theater experience is something that shouldn't go away anytime soon. It should still be there when this is all over, and that we should still be able, like, for me, for people older than me, for generations after me, to still have that experience, still speaks volumes to it. It still does. And the fact that it's still thriving, it's still growing, we're still seeing movies breaking records almost every year, still showcases that the movie theater experience is not over. I understand some people do want it to be over, just for the simplicity's sakes of, seeing a movie at home, but those certain majority of movies by them are made for the big screen. That's not again before you say, well, they go on DVD. It's like, you know what I mean. You have the chance to see it on the big screen. That's all I'm saying. And yeah, my point is, like, the movie theater experience. Movie theaters are still important in 2020 going forward. And I still hope they're around and still in business when this whole COVID thing is over, because this whole thing is annoying the hell out of me. Damn you, coronavirus. we'll be seeing the New Mutants in a couple weeks, but no, we got to no virus delayed. Jesus Christ, how many times has the New Mutants been delayed even before COVID? You got the original release, and then you had the Deadpool 2 move, then you got the Dark Phoenix move, then you had the Fox merger. Now you have flipping coronavirus. Let me tell you what. And before you say anything, I'm not making light of the virus. I'm making light of the fact that New Mutants. Will I ever see New Mutants? Like, me and George have made a constant joke for more than 2 years. Like, we will never see the New Mutants at any point in our lives. Like, you gotta believe me. You gotta believe we will. And then, we were so close. And then it's gone. It's gone. But yeah, point of this. The moral of this episode is that movie theaters, hopefully, will not be going away anytime soon. And I will defend them until the day I die. Or until the day I go blind. Or the day until I go deaf. Or the day I just get too old and I don't care. Who knows? I still got many more years to go. And, yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this very rambling episode of Let Jill Talk. If you want to see more Let Jill Talk, we post brand new episodes each and every Wednesday on Action X here on YouTube. And if you want to specifically see us for that, as well as our other content we made, please subscribe to the channel. Please ring the bell for notifications when we have a new episode live. Like, favorite, share this episode if you want to, and also follow us on all our social media feeds, our Twitter and Twitch. And again, stay safe during this time period. Think wisely, think smart. I don't know what, and don't do drugs. That's something you should all. But also, don't smoke weed before anime movies and ruin my experience. I don't know when the next anime movie I'm going to see, but please don't ruin it. Anyway, again, I hope everyone's safe. I hope everyone's doing well, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.